محمد وعلى محمد بلند کر صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا يستوي أصحاب النار وأصحاب الجنة. أصحاب الجنة هم الفائزون. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. وتلك الأمثال نضربها للناس لعلهم يتفكرون. والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة. هو الرحمن الرحيم. هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الملك القدوس السلام المؤمن المهيمن العزيز الجبار المتكبر. سبحان الله عما يشركون. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى. هو الله الخالق البارئ المصور له الأسماء الحسنى. يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز الحكيم صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات اللهم صل
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد محمد وآل محمد بلند تر صلوات صلی علی محمد وآل برائے حضور امام زمانہ ہمارے دیگر صلوات
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. Surah Fatiha for all marhum Mu'min and Mu'minat. Islam Arhim. افسوس نبی زادیوں کا، ارے افسوس نبی زادیوں کا، شام میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو، ارے افسوس نبی زادیوں کا، شام میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو، سرننگے وہ ماں بہنوں کا دربار میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو، چھپتی تھی نبی زادی کے پیچھے، اے چھپتی تھی نبی زادی کے پیچھے، کس شرم و حیا سے، اور شمر کا ان بیبیوں کے نام بتانا سجاد سے پوچھو، بیٹھے ہوئے دربار میں سب چھوٹے بڑے تھے، اے بیٹھے ہوئے دربار میں سب چھوٹے بڑے تھے، سادات کھڑے تھے، سرتشت میں رکھا ہوا زینب کو دکھانا سجاد سے پوچھو، جب دختر شبیر نے زندہ میں قضا کی رضب دختر شبیر نے زندہ میں قضا کی رفت کی گھڑی تھی وہ ننھی سی وہ ننھی سی میت بندھے ہاتھوں سے اٹھانا سجاد سے پوچھو وہ شام علم اور وہ تماچوں کی وہ بوچھار ارے وہ شام علم اور وہ تماچوں کی وہ بوچھار ارے وہ بچی کے رخسار عباس کو رو رو کے سکینہ کو بلانا سجاد سے پوچھو ظالم لب شبیر کو چھڑی مار رہا تھا ارے ظالم لب شبیر کو چھڑی مار رہا تھا وہ وقت عجب تھا اس وقت پھوپھی بہنوں کا پھوپھی بہنوں سے اشکوں کو چھپانا سجاد سے پوچھو سرباب کا گودی میں لیے مر گئی بچی اے سرباب کا گودی میں لیے مر گئی بچی غش کر گئی بچی منہ باپ کے منہ پر سے سکینہ کا ہٹانا سجاد سے پوچھو افسوس نبی زادیوں کا شام میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو سرننگے وہ ماں بہنوں کا دربار میں جانا سجاد سے پوچھو صلوات آجائیں باغ آجائیں
رب العالمين
والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. صلى الله عليك يا مولانا يا أبا عبد الله. صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله. صلى الله عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. صلى الله عليك يا ابن فاطمة المظلومة. ما خاب من تمسك بقوم وأمن من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وآل إبراهيم وآل عمران على العالمين. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. For the love of Bibi Zainab, with the loudest of our voices, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. For the love of Imam Abi Abdullah al-Husayn, with the loudest of our voices, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. For the hastening of the reappearance of our 12th Imam and the purification of our souls, with the loudest of our voices, Sallu ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بمصابنا بسيدة زينب عليها السلام، وجعلنا الله وإياكم من الطالبين بثأرها مع إمام المنصور المؤيد. First of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gracing us with this opportunity and this moment tonight to commemorate the departure of Sayyida Zainab from this world. My first condolence, heartfelt one, goes to the Imam of our time on the departure of Sayyida Zainab, and secondly, condolence to our Maraje, our scholars, those great personalities who try their level best every day and night to give a service to our beautiful school of thought in particular, and Islam in general and as a whole. And thirdly, condolence to each and every one of you, respected brothers and sisters, mu'mineen and mu'minat, lovers and followers of Ahlul Bayt. Salawat. The verse I've just quoted from glorious Quran is Quran 3 verse 33, Surah Ali Imran. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in this verse talks about the chosen ones, those that he has chosen on account of the qualities they possessed. Allah says in this ayah, Inna Allah astafa Adam wa Nuhan. Indeed, Allah has chosen Adam and Nuh. Then he said, Wa ala Ibrahim. And Allah has chosen the descendants of Ibrahim. Then wa ala Imran. And Allah has chosen the descendant of Imran. Then he said, Alal Alamin, over all nations. Now, departing from this ayah of glorious Quran, Our topic of tonight will be Zainab alayha salam, the chosen one. And our examination will be of 3 important pages of the life of Bibi Zainab alayha salam. The first page will look at the isma of Sayyida Zainab. Is she ma'asuma or she's not ma'asuma? Or is isma only for the 14 that we know? Or no? Personalities like Sayyida Zainab, personalities like Ali al-Akbar, personality like Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, they also have some sort of isma. So therefore, first stage of the examination, that is what we will look at tonight, inshallah. And then the second page of the life of Bibi Zainab, we will look at the knowledge of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam. And then the last page we will look at will be to look at the azama of Zainab, the greatness of Zainab. What are the manifestations of the greatness of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam? And what are the lessons I and you can learn from Bibi Zainab alayhi salam? May Allah grant all of us the ziyarah of Zainab in Sham. And may Sham reclaim his dignity and respect, inshallah. This ayah, if you examine this ayah, mu'mineen and mu'minat, 3:33, Allah talks about chosen ones. My point of this ayah is Al Ibrahim or Ibrahim. Among Ali Ibrahim is Ali Muhammad. And amongst Ali Muhammad is Zainab alayha salam. So when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says, we've chosen Ibrahim, we've chosen Noah, we've chosen Ali Ibrahim, descendant of Ibrahim, the entire family of Rasulullah, they are descendant of Ibrahim. And Zainab is one of them. Now, this istafa, which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is talking about in this ayah, the chosen one, it's not only the 14 infallibles that you know. Each and every member of Al Rasul who obtains self-purification are part of this ayah. And if I give you typical example, it's on the 10th day of Muharram. Aba Abdullah salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Implemented this verse on Ali al-Akbar. Mu'minin, try when we give a verse, when you go back home, double check the verse. It's so important. You don't get satisfied with what we say. Go back home, double check the verse. Then you are able to increase the level of your ma'arifah and the levels of your knowledge. Imam al-Hussein, when Ali al-Akbar went out to defend Islam and humanity and to defend the Al Rasul on the 10th day of Muharram, Aba Abdullah spoke a very profound speech about the personality of Ali al-Akbar, where Abu Abdullah said, this is a young man who has gone out to defend the religion of his grandfather, and this is a man who resembles prophets in his intellect and in his look than any other person. Then Abu Abdullah said, whenever we missed Rasulullah, we would only look at the face of this young man, Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam. Then immediately after that, Abu Abdullah recited Quran 3 verse 33 to tell us that when Allah says, I've chosen Ibrahim or Ali Ibrahim, Ahlul Bayt are also part and parcel of Ali Ibrahim and Ibrahim. So therefore, depending on this, I say Zainab alayha salam, she's also part and parcel of this ayah of Quran. Now come with me, let's work on this discussion. The first part of the discussion is the isma of Zainab. There is no question about the isma of the 14 stars. But is Zainab ma'asuma or not? Is Bibi Fatima Nkumu ma'asuma or not? Although the name ma'asuma is a title given to her. Now I want you to pay attention to this. There are two forms of isma. We have the isma iqtidaiya, we have the isma fi'liya. The first form of isma, they call it dictational isma, infallibility. What does it mean? It means when a person achieved and obtained certain qualities, those qualities dictate that the person will understand sin and the repercussion of sin, and the person will understand obedience and the influence of obedience to Allah in his life. This is what they call iqtida'i, bimana yaqtadi. And as you remember very well, I mentioned the other night, isma is a form of knowledge. But this form of isma, they call it inkishaf. This iqtida'i, dictational isma. It's type of isma whereby on account of you having the knowledge, you tend to discover something. What do you discover? You discover that if I indulge in a sin, this will be the repercussion, hence the sin is disgusting to me. I give an example to ourselves. Although none of us is in that form of isma, but sometimes here and there in our lives, we have that type of isma. Excuse my word. Why don't us drink urine? Okay, that is no problem. That's not a big deal. Why don't we drink blood? Is it only because it's najis? Law. You've understood that it will be detrimental to your health. You have the knowledge. When I drink urine, it will affect my health. That knowledge is inkishaf, it's a form of isma. Why some drink alcohol and some do not drink? Muslims and non-Muslims alike. Non-Muslims who don't drink, they are not just saying we are not drinking because it's scriptural teaching. La. It's because we realize that when it comes to health today, when people suffer from certain ailments, when they visit their GP, the first question, do you smoke, do you drink, for them to be able to trace your life and be able to prescribe what is better for you. Because they've realized the danger of it in their lives. So they discover that if I drink, it is detrimental, so I don't go there. That is a form of isma. But when it comes to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, it is holistic in their lives. All the 14, they've got what is called the isma iqtida'i, that they've understood sin and the true essence of sin, and they've understood obedience and true essence of obedience, and they know if I get into sin, this will be the repercussion, and if I'm obedient to Allah, this will be the reward. Hence they are ma'sumin. Now look at the second isma. That is where Sayyida Zainab alayha salam belongs. It's a isma fi'liya, actual infallibility. What is that? It's saytaratul aql ala tasarrufat al-insan, as scholars mention. It's for your intellect to have control over all your actions. Once your intellect has control over all your action, you will achieve certain level of isma. It's not easy. Today, all that we commit in our lives is simply because we are unable to allow our intellect to control our actions. If you allow your intellect, mu'mineen and mu'minat, this is crucial, this is important. All these problems we have at work, in the mosque, wherever you go, is simply because people are failing to allow their intellect to control their actions. Yani, we are failing to allow our intellect to manage our lives. If we allow intellect to manage our lives will reach certain level of isma. I'll give you an example. Doctors. If a person goes for operation, may Allah forbid, and cure all the sick ones, the person is taken into theater. These doctors who are surrounding this person, they're going to spend sometimes 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. But they know everything here. And at the end of that 5 hours, the person will go out successful. That is the isma. Because they've got saytaratul akal ala tasarrifati. Their akal manages all their actions. They are able to keep everything there. You find a student goes to exams. He prepares for these exams, I don't know how many months. Some will enter the examination hall. 2 hours examination, and they will not forget every single thing they studied, and they are able to put it down. It means their akal is controlling their action. The same thing applies to this form of isma. That is why, brothers and sisters, it's important to understand that your akal is your chief. Hence Imam Jafar mentioned, huwa ma ubida bihi ar-Rahman waqtusiba bihi al-Jinan. We worship Allah through our akal, and you will get Jannah through akal. Now, if your akal manages everything, you obtain that form of isma. Hence, scholars in theology comes out and said, Zainab alayha salam, Aliyun al-Akbar, Abul Fadl al-Abbas, Bibi Fatima Masuma. Their isma is not to that level of the isma of the 14, but they've got what is called actual infallibility. Because their akal control their actions, then what happened? They don't indulge into sin. You cannot tell me, Na'udhu billah, Zainab has committed this particular sin. You will never find it. But the isma is not to that level of the 14 ones. But Zainab never committed any sin. So therefore to us, she is ma'asuma ismatan fi'li. Abul Fadl Abad is something ma'asuma ismatan fi'li. Bibi Fatima ma'asumakum ma'asuma ismatan fi'liya. Why? Because their akal manage their actions. So hence, if you allow your akal, today look at how desire destroys us. Desire destroys us. Within a minute, a person regrets. You know why? Immediately you regret. It's because that time when you are committing, your akal is somewhere. Desire is managing the action. The reason why you regret immediately, because you have destroyed the life of that lady. You have wasted her time. You played with her emotions. You have destroyed the life of that man. You wasted his time. You played with his emotion. Because you stole that. You deceived that. It's because that time desire is controlling the actions. But the moment you come out of it, you begin to regret, it means akal is working now. So therefore, the first page of the life of Bibi Zainab is that indeed she was ma'asuma, but not to the isma of our beloved imams. That's number one. Two is the knowledge of Sayyida Zainab, which I always mention as Shi'as. We have to be proud of Ahlul Bayt. Simply because Ahlul Bayt, when it comes to knowledge, they never left any stone unattended. And as a Shia, this is how you should conduct yourself. You need to strive for ma'rifah. You need to strive for knowledge. Now, our young ambassador from Madrasa just spoken. Our beloved fourth Imam Ma'soom, I want you to look at this very carefully. In a known tradition, he looked at Sayyida Zainab, said, Anti bihamdillah alima ghayr mu'allama wa fahima ghayr mufahama. Imam Zain al-Abidin Ma'soom. And he began by saying, bihamdillah. Now you understand very well in our previous discourse, we have two forms of knowledge. We have acquired, obtainable knowledge, and we have knowledge by presence. You remember on the night of Imam al-Jawad, we discussed that. Ilmul ladunni and ilmun iktisabi. Now the knowledge of Zainab is which knowledge? Because we need to understand the maqam of Sayyida Zainab alayha salam. As we mentioned, this knowledge by presence, even animals are granted that knowledge by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And ordinary human beings also are granted to certain level. And then we gave example of the mother of Musa alayhi salam. Wa awhayna ila ummi Musa. But now look at the life of Amir al-Mu'minin. I just want to give an example. Amir al-Mu'minin said, Allamani Rasulullah al-Fababi. Rasulullah taught me 1,000 doors of knowledge. Then Imam Ali said, Yanfatihu li min kulli babin alfa babin. Every 1,000 door of that knowledge opens another 1,000. Now, all the two forms of knowledge are in this riwayah. Acquired knowledge and knowledge by presence. Where is the acquired knowledge? Allamani Rasulullah al-Fababin. Rasulullah taught me. Taught me, meaning Amir al-Mu'minin also had acquired knowledge. But then he said, each 1,000 door is opening another 1,000 door. It means ilmul ladunni from Allah. So when Imam Zainul Abidin alayhi salam, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. When he said, you are a scholar without a teacher, Ma'soom is saying, it's not an ordinary person in Karbala or in Medina or Samarra or somewhere. Imam Zainab said, you are a teacher without a scholar. It means the knowledge of Zainab is ilmul ladunni. And not only that, fahima غير mufahama. Zainab used to understand without anyone helping her to understand. That is why her father would sit with Zainab and he would say to Zainab, say wahid. And Zainab will say wahid. And the father will say to Zainab, say ithnain. And Zainab will refuse to say ithnain too. And Amir al-Mu'minin will look at Zainab, oh my beloved Zainab, why are you refusing to say ithnain? Then she said, because Allah is one and my mouth will not say two. It's ilmul ladunni. Amir al-Mu'minin would go out to the mosque in Kufa. And he would come back home and would find ladies sitting around Zainab. And Zainab was teaching them tafsir al-Quran. And Amir would say to Zainab, I did not ask you to teach them. I said, well, I learned from your nur. That is a ilmul ladunni. So therefore, the second page of her life is what? The knowledge of Zainab alayhi salam is from Allah. And hence you remember very well we said, Khutbatul Fadak, the first personality to report was Zainab alayhi salam. This Khutbah Fadak of Bibi Fatima alayhi salam, which is reported in some of our books, Zainab reported that khutbah. Now let's go to the third phase. Avama, the greatness of Zainab. Zainab was very great. And I wish and pray that all of us, not only our women, we emulate Zainab alayhi salam. You know, before looking at her greatness, there is a confusion here we need to clear. We have a personality called Zainab al-Sughra and we have Zainab al-Kubra. Normally in our masa'ib, we mixed between the two. Who is Zainab al-Sughra and who is Zainab al-Kubra? Zainab al-Sughra is Kulthum, the wife of Muslim bin Aqil, the mother of Hamida. She was in Karbala, the mother of Muhammad and Ibrahim. And Zainab al-Kubra is Zainab alayhi salam, the daughter of Amir al-Mu'minin, isn't it? This Zainab al-Sughra, according to some riwayah, she is buried in Egypt. And Zainab al-Kubra is buried in Sham. Asham, 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 when Abu Abdullah and Imam Zainab used to say, because the ladies were whipped in Sham. She is buried. So Zainab al-Kubra, the one that we have gathered tonight for, she is buried where? In Sham. The one who is buried in Egypt is Zainab al-Sugra, Kulthum, the wife of Muslim born Aqil. Let me add you more to this. On the 10th day of Muharram, the first Zainab to sit next to the body of Abu Abdullah is Zainab al-Sugra, Kulthum. By then, Zainab al-Kubra was looking after Imam Zainul Abidin, looking after the children, and looking after the women in the camp. Yes, she came and stood at Talle Zainab, but the first Zainab to sit next to the body is Kulthum. But now you see the azama of Zainab is what? Abu Abdullah alayhi salam would always refer people to Zainab. And that is what I mentioned the other time. Our women need to emulate these great personalities. Even some men would go to Zainab to inquire about their religion. And this repeats itself in Ahlul Bayt. Get to understand a lot of histories of Ahlul Bayt. Imam al-Hadi and Imam Hasan al-Askari, you know how difficult they found themselves in? They used to refer the matter to who? Hakima, the daughter of Imam al-Jawad, lady in Samarra. May Allah bless us all the ziyarah of Samarra. They used to refer, say, go to Bibi Hakima, because it was difficult for Imam al-Hadi and it was difficult for Imam Hasan al-Askari. Same way about Abdullah, when our youngster mentioned Sharikatul Hussein, it simply means Abu Abdullah will refer people back to Zainab alayhi salam. Now the first manifestation of Zainab's azama, which I and you can learn, is her tawakkul ala Allah. Tawakkul ala Allah. Whatever situation, Hamid ibn Muslim was a reporter in Karbala who was employed by Yazid to stand in the middle, just reports. Hamid ibn Muslim. That is why many people come forward and ask me, all these masa'ib, where do you get them from? I said, number one, we get it from Zainab. Number two, we get it from Imam Zain al-Abidin. Number three, we get it from Imam al-Baqir. Number four, we get it from Shimr ibn Ziljawshan and Sinan ibn Ka'in, because when Mukhtar got a hold of each and every one of them, he asked them, what did you do on the 10th day of Muharram? And then the last one, we got it from Hamid ibn Muslim. Hamid reported, he said, all companions of Hussein were chopped off and killed. And now we saw Imam Zain al-Abidin is being chained. And he was made to be on the camel without saddle. You remember that, Masahib? They made him to walk up until Sham. When they were entering Sham, Imam Zain al-Abidin looked at Kulthum and said, can you please give me a piece of cloth? They asked him, why do you want a piece of cloth? He said, because the chain is killing me. But look at what Hamid said about the tawakkul of Zainab and relying on Allah. And this should serve as a lesson to us. Every given situation, brothers and sisters, you find yourself, whether within the community or at workplace or within your family, whatever the situation, work hard to solve, but solely rely on Allah. Hamid said, we saw Zainab coming out and she was walking humbly. As she was walking humbly, everybody was looking at her. And some were asking, who is she? And they said, she's Zainab, the daughter of Ali, the sister of Hussein. What did Zainab do? This is my point. Wallahi, I tell you, mu'mineen and mu'minah, it struck my heart when I look at this incident. She went, she fell down, and she placed her two hands under the body of Hussein. What did she say? This is my point. Allahumma Rabbana takabbal minna hadha al-qurban. Tawakkul ala Allah. Children are gone. Aba Abdullah, body that side, wholly already took the head. Body sitting there. Look at her tawakkul. Did she cry foul? Na'udhu billah. Did she complain? Blaming Allah. Allahumma Rabbana takabbal minna hadha. This is the peak of loyalty in the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She's still asking Allah, Hussein is our qurban. Ya Allah, accept this qurban for us. Adhama. You don't give that in return. Give something small. Give your heart, mu'minin and mu'minat. Isn't it on Tasu'a? Zainab called Muhammad and Aun. This is lesson for us. And she looked at Muhammad and Aun. She said, oh, my beloved sons, will you make me proud tomorrow? He said, Mom, don't worry. We are children of Ali and Ja'far al-Tayyar. She said, because Layla will be proud tomorrow of Ali al-Akbar. Rabab will be proud of the infant. Will you make me proud? Allahu Akbar. Look at narrations. This is the azama I'm trying to outline. On the 10th day of Muharram, when the two youngsters, beautiful souls, went towards Abu Abdullah, Zainab was standing and she was watching. What would Hussein say? And Hussein also was looking at Zainab. What would be the reaction? Muhammad and Aun got to Abu Abdullah. They said, Uncle, permission. Abu Abdullah look at Zainab. He said, no, I cannot allow you. Because if you go, there will be no one to look after your mom. What are we giving to Ahlul Bayt, Mu'mineen and Mu'minat? Ahlul Bayt need your souls only, not even your money, your soul. Just give your soul. The Imam of our time will be proud of us. Clean that soul, cleanse it. Remove the filth and the rustness. Abu Abdullah sent them back. When they went, Zainab sent them back to Hussein. Look at the tawakkul of Zainab. Azamat Zainab alayha salam. Al-Kubra. But you know what Zainab said to Abu Abdullah, and it broke the heart of Abu Abdullah? He said, you remember on the day of Siffin, our father was proud of Abbas. And Abbas was like their age. But the second one, she said, oh Hussein, don't you want Fatima Az-Zahra to be proud of me on the day of Qiyamah? We've not even started the musibah. Don't you want Fatima Az-Zahra to be proud of me? I want to give something to Fatima. As our brothers mentioned, the Pursa. What are you giving to Fatima on the day of Qiyamah? Allah, when Zainab said that to Abu Abdullah, tears began to overflow from the eyes of Abu Abdullah. And he said, Zainab, Allah, I'm saying this because there will be no one to help you. He said, no. This is my offer and gift to Fatima Az-Zahra. Tawakkul ala Allah. Give Allah, brothers and sisters. That's number one. Azama. Number two, azama of Zainab is her spirituality. Spirituality to the highest level. Where do we get that from? Look at this scenario. Zainab came towards Ibn Ziyad. You remember what he said to her? Look at the power. I like what our youngster recited tonight. Woman, you've got the power. Allah has given you that power. Use it for the benefit of Islam. Zainab entered the palace of Ibn Ziyad. What did he say to her? أرأيت صنع الله لأخيك والأتاد المرد من أهل بيتك نعوذ بالله. نعوذ بالله. He said to Zainab, have you seen what Allah has done to your brother Hussein and those of your Ahlul Bayt who have gone astray? Na'udhu billah. He said to Zainab, what was the response? Ma ra'aytu illa This is, can we really comprehend this? Hussein is being killed, blood. Ali al-Akbar, the dagger was dagged on his chest. Qasim into pieces. Abu Abdullah could not even hold the body of Qasim. We are told to use some rope, and Zainab came out and said, "What are you holding, Hussein?" Said, "I'm holding the body." But all this in Takrit, in Musaybiyah, you name them, they were hailing stones at Zainab. But Zainab said, "Ma ra'aytu illa jamila. هؤلاء القوم كتب عليهم القتل فبرزوا إلى مضاجعهم." Allahu Akbar. Zainab said, "I've seen nothing but beauty." We'll come to that a little bit. But these people, death is written to them. And they've gone back. This beauty, brothers and sisters. There are 4 types of beauty. Physical beauty. What does Allah say? خُذُوا زِينَتَكُمْ عِنْدَ كُلِّ مَسْجِدٍ كُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ. Who denies himself the beauty that Allah has given to his servant? Meaning you have to look presentable. You have to dress nicely. Don't just go dirty. This is physical beauty. It's important. Allah said when you go to the mosque to pray, dress nicely, put perfume. Physical beauty. Fine. Zainab is not talking about this. Second beauty, it is examination beauty. What is examination beauty? It's beauty given to you by Allah, but it's a test. Al-malu wal-banuna zinatul. Wealth and children, beauty of this dunya is imtihan. Your wealth may take you away from Allah. Your wealth may make you arrogant. Your children may make you stay away from Allah. So it is ziboy ozmoishi. It's zibo, it's beauty, but its test is imtihan. So any beauty you have in your life, wallah, is test. Like for me, knowledge is test. It can make me arrogant overnight. It can make me see myself better than all. Easily, it's beauty, but wallahi, it can take you out of the way. And so Allah mentioned in Quran, but Inna ja'alna ma 'ala al-ardi zinatan lakum linabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala. Whatever we put on the earth is zina, but to examine you to see who will do the best of action. Second beauty, Zainab doesn't mean this. Ma ra'aytu illa jamila is not this. Third beauty is what? At the most dangerous one, disgusting beauty. What is disgusting beauty? زُيِّنَ لَهُ سُوءُ أَمَلِهِ فَرَآهُ حَسَنًا. When bad deeds become beautiful in your eye. When guna become beauty. When people justify wrongs nicely, happily. When gossip is being justified. When lack of hijab is being justified. You don't want, fine, learn, but you cannot justify it. It's beauty, hey, but this beauty is dangerous. What does Allah say? هل أنبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. Do you want me to introduce you to those who are losers and transgressors? Allah said, they are those who strive in this dunya, doing a lot of actions, thinking that is good, but it's zero. Zainab doesn't mean this. The fourth beauty is spiritual beauty. Zinatul bawatin. Rasulullah said, Zinatul bawatin afdalu min zinatul zawahir. The hidden secret spiritual beauty is higher and better in the eye of Allah than this apparent beauty. So when Zainab said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila, I have not seen nothing but beauty, she's talking about spiritual beauty. And wallah, it's true. If you examine Karbala, you will see beauty in Karbala. What beauty Zainab is talking about? A young boy of not even 10 years. Father just gone down, butchered. His mom came. She took the cloth of the father. She placed on him. The clothes scholars said it was like a hijab of ladies for them. But what does the narration say? Shabun kutila abuhu fil ma'araka. But when he went out, look at the beauty. Amiri Hussein, wa ni'mal amir, sururun, fu'adun, bashirun, nadhirun, aliyun wa Fatima walida, hal ta'lamu lahu min nadhir? This is the beauty. A young boy. Now you went to Abu Abdullah. Abu Abdullah said, your father is gone. I will not allow you. He said, no, my mother asked me to come. Abdullah said, no, go look after your mom. He said, no. When he went out, what was he chanting? Me, like Sheikh Nur do every day? La! He said, Amiri, Hussein, my master is Hussein. And the blessed master. Ali and Fatima are his parents. Do you know of anyone that can be compared to Hussein? When Zainab said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila, I've seen nothing but beauty. This is an example. Example of beauty. A lady lost her son. She stood looking at the way they were massacring the son. They took the head, they threw to the mother. She looked at the head. Ya Allah, if you grant me this head 20 times, I will be proud to give it back to Hussein. Beauty. That's the beauty. The beauty is that when you worship Allah, pain is nothing. When you wake up for Fajr in winter and you drive to the mosque, that is the beauty. When you don't have and you dig down into your coffers and you take out and give, that is the beauty. When clear cut you can commit the sun and you will stay away from it, that is the beauty. It was pain in Karbala, but it became beauty when you have the old man, Muslim bin Awsaja and Habib ibn Mabahir, when they met in the market of Kufa upon the arrival of Abu Abdullah. What happened? They began to talk. Habib asked Muslim, what are you doing? He said, I'm here to buy hyena to dye my beard. He said, leave it. There is an everlasting hyena in Karbala. Let us go and dye ourselves with, which will never change until Qiyamah. That is the beauty Zainab is talking about. The beauty is that night when Abu Abdullah switched off the candle, he said, go, I am the target. He said, Wallah, if we will be killed 100 times, we will still give back to you, Hussein. So when Zainab said, Ma ra'aytu illa jamila, she was talking about the taste of worship, the beauty of worship. But look at this line. Hussein looked at her and he said, Ukhayya Zainab, la tansini min nafilatil layl. Allahu Akbar. Said, my beloved sister Zainab, please don't forget me in your namaz shaba. So ma'arifah of Zainab is unbelievable. Yani, we can't reach the kuno hakikat shakhsiyat Zainab alayha salam. Ukhayya Zainab, la tansini min nafilatil layl. Ma'soom is telling Zainab, please, in your namaz shaba, remember me, Zainab. What else do you want to know about Zainab? This is the lady, when she came back to Medina, the first thing she did, she went to the room of Muhammad and Aul. She opened the room. She said, Allah, they may have taken your joy from your eye, but they cannot take it from my heart. Allah make us worthy of the true lovers of Zainab. So when she talks of beauty, this is what Islam refers to as beauty. These are our leaders that we are proud of. We need to emulate them. I'm taking much of your time. The last azam of Zainab is her revolutionary stand. Zainab كانت ثائرة. Allahu Akbar. Zainab was a revolutionary lady. بمعنى الكلمة. Why am I saying this? You look at it. Hussein's head on spear. Abbas' head on spear. Ali Asghar into pieces of meat. Now they entered into the court of Yazid. Zainab, some scholars said, was in chain. You remember when they hung the head of Hussein in the Sham, market of Sham? But then she came to Yazid straight. She's a revolutionary. أظننت يا يزيد حيث أخذت علينا أقطار الأرض وآفاك السماء أن لك على الله كرامة وبنا عليه حوانا. Allah. Today, ladies, Islam, wallahi, is not backward. Learn from Zainab and Fatima. She went to the court of Yazid. Yazid thinking that he was the most powerful. She said, oh Yazid, do you think that by making us to travel all over cities and by subjecting us to all this trauma, that you have some dignity in the eye of Allah and you don't have any dignity? But what really fascinates is at the end, what did she say to him? Fakid kaidak wasa'a sayak wanasib juhdak فإنك لا تمهي ذكرنا ولا تميتها. قال الرسول, look at Yazid. He said, فكد كيدك, do all your tricks. What's asayak? You determine in whatever way you want to determine. Wanasib juhdak, place all effort. Wallahi lan tamhu zikrana. Our zikr will never be dead. You will never subject the zikr of Ahlul Bayt to death. Walan tumita wahyana. Our revelation can never be subjected to death. Zainab told him, then what he said, in ra'ayuka illa fanada wa ayyamuka illa adada. Allahu Akbar wa jam'uka illa badada. Zainab said, don't worry, your days are numbered and your group are going to be perished. ثم ينادي المنادي ألا لعنة الله على الظالمين. Zainab defended face veil, not just a head scarf. But did they leave Zainab? They didn't leave. Let's learn from her. With your hijab, you can be anywhere today in the world. With your hijab, you can be the best of all doctors. With your hijab, you can be the best of all the engineers. They didn't remove the headscarf of Zainab. They didn't remove. It was only the face veil. Because Al-Rasul were not used to be looking at them, people looking at them. So when they were coming, people are looking at them. That's why I pray Allah inspire us with Zainab alayhi salam to go to the ziyarah of Sayyida Zainab and give happiness to those children and orphans who are next to Zainab alayhi salam. We have our ladies in Lady Zainab helping hand. They always try to raise money to help those orphans next to Zainab. Give respect to Zainab by donating something small. They are planning to build school for 3,500 children who are neighbors of Sayyida Zainab. I want you to take first your heart to Medina. And from Medina we go to Karbala. And from Karbala we go to Sham. Look at the masa'ib of Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam. No doubt Zainab is Masaiba. You know what was the first musibah of Zainab? Young Zainab, young. It was when the door was pushed on Fatima. That was the first musibah. That first musibah, when the authorities sent their henchmen, they stood behind the door of Fatima Az-Zahra. They said, either you come out to pay allegiance, or we will do what we have been asked to do. She said, this is the house of Fatima Az-Zahra. They say, and so what? And the response, the door was pushed on Fatima. That's musibah of Zainab alayhi salam. And you know, this door being pushed on Fatima was later remembered by Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salam. A lady was walking in the market of Banu Umayyah in the morning. She fell down. The moment she fell down, she said, Ya Allah, curse the killer of Fatima Az-Zahra. The lady was arrested. Imam made dua and she was released. When they brought her to Imam, Imam asked her, why did you catch the killer of Fatima? Said, Imam, when I was falling, I realized I was falling on my rib. Zainab was young by then. This musibah Zainab saw at that moment when Asma bint Umays narrated Amir al-Mu'mineen, as he was busy making the ghusl of Fatima Az-Zahra, Amir al-Mu'mineen stopped and sat on one corner of the house. Amir al-Mu'mineen began to cry and cry. Asma said, I approached him. I said, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, you lifted the door of Khaybar. I've never seen you crying like this. Said Asma, as I'm busy making the ghusl of Fatima Az-Zahra, my right hand went and touched the broken rib of Fatima. This first musibah. Look at the second musibah. They put poison in the food of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba. Allahu Akbar. When they put the poison, Imam Hassan ate. He began to vomit blood. Zainab knocked the door. When he realized he was Zainab, Imam hid the plate under the bed, because Fatima Zahra told him, don't break the heart of Zainab. When Zainab entered, she said, oh my brother, what are you hiding under the bed? What did she saw? She saw the blood of Imam Hassan. And look at the musibah. When they were carrying Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba to Jannat al-Baqiyah, they were doing what? Splashing arrows on the body. Allahu Akbar. And of course, before then was the musibah of Amir al-Mu'mineen. When Ibn Muljum struck him, Imam was limping and limping. Hasanain held the Imam and they were walking towards the house. When they were about to reach the house, Imam looked at Hassan and said, let me walk now. They asked him why. He said, because I don't want Zainab to see me. Look at her moment with Abu Abdullah. When Abu Abdullah was going, he came to Zainab. He said, my Zainab, when our mother was leaving this world, she whispered into your ears. Whenever I'd ask you, you said you would tell me, today I am going, Zainab, I will not come back. What did my mom whisper into your ears? Zainab said, oh Hussein, look at that direction and open your chest and your neck. Zainab placed her hand on the chest of Abu Abdullah. He said, my mother said I should kiss your neck. Why kissing the neck and the chest? Because Shimr sat on the chest and the sword of Shimr went on the... Let me leave you with this last one. That was Shami Gariba. Zainab was looking for Bibi Rabab. She was nowhere to be found. A man approached. She asked him, haven't you seen a lady? He said, I saw a lady somewhere. They went, looked for her. They brought her. Zainab asked her, Rabab, what have you been doing? She said, Zainab, I'm looking for Ali ibn al-Asghar. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. Raise up your hand, mu'mineen and mu'minat. Let's pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those who are sick amongst us, may Allah cure them. Ya Allah, we ask you subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who have got challenges in their lives, whatever the challenge might be, Allah, we ask you through the barakat of tonight, Majlis, attend to those challenges on their behalf. Those of us who are working, may Allah put barakah in your working, inshallah. And those who are struggling to make ends meet, we ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala to make it easier for them, inshallah. Those who are employees, may Allah tabarak wa ta'ala make your working environment conducive for you, inshallah. And those who are employers, we ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala to make things more and more easier for them, inshallah. Our marhumin, we ask Allah to grant them Jannat al-Firdaus. All our legitimate desires, we ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala to fulfill on our behalf. Ma'atam al-Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein.
سجاد میں زینب ہوں، میرے سر پہ ردا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا مجمع ہے کوفیوں کا، میرے چلنے کی جا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا سجاد میں زینب ہوں، میرے سر پہ ردا کوئی نہیں، بازار جب سجاد میرے سر سے 9 بار چھنی چادر، مجمع میں نبی زادی پھروائی گئی در در، مل جائے ردا مجھ کو بس اور دعا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا سجاد میں زینب ہوں، میرے سر پہ ردا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا معلوم ہے آدا کو غازی کی بہن ہوں میں، بے دست ہے وہ غازی پابند رسن ہوں میں، یاد آئی وفا اس کی جب پاس رہا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا سجاد میں زینب ہوں، میرے سر پہ ردا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا سجاد تیری حالت دیکھی نہیں جاتی ہے، بے پردہ مجھے دیکھے یہ بات ستاتی ہے، سجاد تیری طرح کانٹوں پہ چلا کوئی نہیں، بازار جفا سجاد میں زینب ہوں، میرے سر پہ ردا کوئی نہیں، بازار دفع یا حسین 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 یا حسین.
سلام ای بانوی تجلی شهامت، سلام بیام ای بانوی صبر و وقار و استقامت، فتاندن در دلی ما شراری از غم تو، دو عالم خون بگرید برای ماتم تو. برای شادی روح بانوی دو جهان زینب کبری صلوات. بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند. نه سری بر تن دارد، نه سری بر تن دارد، نه کفن دارد بر تن، در یمی خون افتاده گل یاسی پیغمبر. بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند. نه ابوالفضل العباس، نه ابوالفضل العباس، نه دیگر اکبر دارد. چه کند زینب تنها، چه کند زینب تنها، که ز جانش بیزار است. بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای ما. بدنی بی سر عریان، بدنی بی سر عریان، در یمی خون افتاده پی احیای قرآن، پی احیای قرآن همه هستی را داده. بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند. نه سری بر تن دارد، نه سری بر تن دارد، نه کفن دارد بر تن، در یمی خون افتاده گل یاسی پیغمبر. بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای ما که حسینت را کشتند. بدنی فرزندت را در میانی خون بنگر، ز حسینت کن دیدار، ز حسینت کن دیدار، که چو گل گشته پرپر. بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند، بیا ای مادر زهرا که حسینت را کشتند. یا حسین، یا حسین.
صلوات بر محمد و آل محمد.
السلام عليك يا مولاي يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا خاتم النبيين يا سيد المرسلين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا علي بن أبي طالب يا أسد الله الغالب يا أمير المؤمنين يا خليفة المسلمين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاتي يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا حسن مجتبى يا ابن رسول الله يا ابن أمير المؤمنين يا ابن فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين يا ابن خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله يا ابن رسول الله يا ابن أمير المؤمنين يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين يا ابن خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا علي بن الحسين زين العابدين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا محمد بن علي الباقر العلوم نبيين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا جعفر بن محمد الباقر العلوم النبيين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا موسى بن جعفر الكاظم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا علي يا علي يا غريب الغرباء يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء يا شمس الشموس يا أيها المدفون بأرض التوس السلطان أبي الحسن علي بن موسى الرضا ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا محمد بن علي الجواد ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا محمد بن علي يا علي بن محمد الحادي ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا حسن بن علي العسكري ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا صاحب العصر والزمان الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا خليفة الرحمن. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا شريك القرآن. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا إمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وزهورك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وجعلنا من أعوانك وأنصارك وشيعتك ومعينك في يوم جزاء ورحمة الله وبركاته. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
هادري
يا علي